Well, the core functions include mainly the development of the next generation of health researchers. As you know, that the core business of the MRC is to do health research. Our office supports by making sure that the pipeline of these researchers is taken care of. So that's the main core function of the division. The role that the division plays is to make sure that what the units do as their core function, the skills of those of the research are transferred to the next generation. Now, obviously, that's so important in the country because we need to make sure that these health researchers keep being developed, so that we will continue having these people that are able to give us the answers to the health questions that the country has. There are various, but I would say that there are 4 core programs. The one is to develop health researchers who have an MBCHB. These are people that are medical doctors, but now we want to train them to be researchers. In other words, we want to take a person who has an MBCHB and develop them to have a PhD, what we call clinician researchers. Then we have researchers that are intimately associated with the business units of the MRC. These are the research units. So in each research unit, our intention is that we should have young people that are developed in those core areas of research. Those are the people that we call the interns loosely. We also have postdoctoral funding. These now are people with PhDs. Now these are people who are already sitting as young researchers. So their core business is just to do research, because now they have the skills of researchers, PhDs, but they still need to be developed into senior researchers. Mainly we get our funding from government as baseline, as part of MRC, but we also enjoy a very prestigious source of funding through a private public partnership entity called the Public Health Enhancement Fund. This is an initiative of the Minister of Health, where he conceived this way of strengthening the development of PhDs in the country, and then formed this public-private partnership of companies that are intimately involved with health business, and they are the ones that are funding part of our programs. That's the program that we call the National Health Scholars Program. Quite a prestigious program, but still the core business is to develop health researchers, mainly at PhD, although we have some master's students there too. It's a hugely important forum for us. Remember, we are dealing with people that are young, that are growing into becoming researchers. Part of a good researcher is having a good network system. That's when you publish, that's when you get critique from your peers. So we want to introduce these young people to those sorts of settings where they now meet with their peers, meet with colleagues, meet with their supervisors or supervisors of other of their peers, so that they can share ideas, they can get a meaningful critique of their work. It's important that young people start early to engage in these network sessions that are related to their core business. And for the young ones who are still doing masters, for instance, this is when they can get people that they can look up to, meet with PhD students who can hold their hands and tell them that yes, it's doable. You don't stop at masters, you have to go on and do your PhD. And of course they can meet with the postdocs and with the supervisors, where they can network and maybe find a home in a research area that they hadn't thought they were interested in. It's a very, very important forum. The less attractive objective is the fact that we need to know that people have done new work in each year, because we give money for you to go and do work, and the only way we can be assured of that is if you submit an abstract to us, which is what we call for this conference. That confirms to the MRC that the money that has been spent on each of these beneficiaries, of which there are about 120, in any given year, they have actually done new work, because that's what research is. It is the discovery of new knowledge. I suppose the one highlight of this year would be the putting on the wheels of the President's initiative of research capacity at selected universities. You know that the MRC has, shall we say, up to now tended to be slanting towards a certain profile of universities which were enjoying funding from the MRC, not by design, but by the nature of the caliber of research projects that need to be associated with the MRC. And the President noticed that there's a whole sector of researchers who are sitting in certain institutions that we may not be accessing the expertise of, because good scientists sit everywhere. It's just about the institution, how resourced it is, that may exclude some of these scientists. So this initiative has been put on wheels. We have funded in excess of some 13 PIs, super researchers that are sitting in what we call non-research intensive institutions. Basically, that means that these are the institutions that historically have less than optimal levels of funding. But now this initiative of the President has allowed us to access this expertise, and we are looking forward to all the science that's going to come out of these people. And needless to say, there'll also be young people that will be sitting under these PIs. So the internship at the MRC is going to grow and will be associated with almost every university that is doing science or medical research in the country. These are people that I owe a great deal to, because they're an excellent team. In fact, one of them has just been recognized by the MRC as one of the cornerstones of the MRC because of the diligence. But there are 3 others in the team. We have a dedicated administrator for the prestigious National Health Scholars Program, a very diligent person. And then I have a young man who I value so much, because he brings a background of auditing and all of that, because we deal with huge monies, and I need to make sure that all monies are accounted for, and he brings that to the office, and we are very blessed to have him as part of the team. He's really assisting in the budget issues. And then we also have another young woman who sort of acts as a go-between between all the programs, the scholarship programs, just to make sure that everything is happening on time, on target, and so on. We call her the scholarships officer, and she makes sure that I have what I need when I need it for a report. Well, the office is growing. I do think that you'll be hearing of that growth. It's exciting, because it's exciting to grow young people. I always find that exciting. Actually, it's a privilege to be involved in growing people. I expect that the office is going to be growing. We're going to be strengthening the core initiatives that we have, because at the end of the day, the MRC has to be seen to be serious about growing the next generation. We need to be serious social partners to the agenda of the Department of Health. We need to be acting in integrity, and we need to be moving forward. So those will be initiatives to demonstrate the commitment of the MRC to growing the next generation of researchers.